keeping up with everything happening these days, it's like a full-time job,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to know the big stuff, like how AI is changing things, but reading all those articles, it just eats up your time.
Totally. It can feel overwhelming.
So today, we're going to zero in on one company doing some really interesting things with AI. We're talking about CharTec.
Yeah, they're all in on using AI in all sorts of departments to work smarter, not harder, as they say.
We're basing this deep dive on an article from CharTec's own marketing manager.
Right. Our goal here isn't to just give you a laundry list of AI tools.
No way. We want to dig into how they're using those tools, in the real world, see what kind of results they're getting.
Exactly. And then hopefully our listeners can take away some ideas they can actually use, no matter their tech skills.
We're looking for those aha moments, right?
Absolutely. And just to emphasize how powerful this stuff can be, that article cites some research from MIT's Sloan School of Management.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Workers using AI tools can boost their performance by up to 40%.
40%. That's huge. So let's get into how CharTec is using AI, starting with their marketing department.
That's where Nicole Stevenson comes in. She's CharTec's marketing manager, and she's the one who wrote the article. So what jumped out at you about their marketing approach?
Well, for starters, they're using AI for so many things. Like Nicole talks about using ChatGPT, that big language model for just about everything.
I know, right? Everything from outlining content to writing emails, even generating entire pieces of content from scratch.
And she stresses how much faster and more efficient it makes them.
Especially once they trained ChatGPT on their brand voice.
Yeah, that's key. Instead of staring at a blank page, they have AI that can kick things off, already sounding like them.
Right. By training ChatGPT on their brand voice, they're not just speeding up content creation, they're making sure all their communications have a consistent brand personality.
Makes sense.
Their marketing team doesn't have to get bogged down in early drafts and revisions for tone. They can focus on the bigger picture.
That's smart.
And then there's Hemingway Editor.
Oh, yeah, she mentions that too.
They use it to make their writing clearer and more direct.
Speaking the client's language.
Right.
Which is marketing 101, right?
Right. Having a tool that helps them simplify their message, especially online, that's got to be valuable.
You're sure?
Make sure their message actually lands and doesn't get lost in jargon or overly complicated sentences.
Builds trust faster.
Exactly.
And it's not just text-based stuff either.
Oh, you mean dragon dictation?
Yeah, the voice-to-text software. She says they use that a lot too.
I think some people might see that as just a convenience thing.
Sure, but Nicole talks about how it's actually really useful for things like transcribing interviews, getting them done quickly, working with video content efficiently,
Right.
and even accommodating people on the team with different physical needs.
I like that.
It makes things more inclusive, lets people work in different ways.
It's not just about being more productive. It's about making the work environment better for everyone.
Absolutely.
I think that's really important.
Now, one last thing from the marketing side.
Okay. What's that?
They use this app called Endel. It's an AI-powered soundscape designed to help you focus.
Interesting.
Nichols says it's like flipping a switch in her brain, Instantly helps her concentrate when she's writing or doing strategic planning.
It's fascinating how they're using AI not just to get things done, but to actually improve how their brains work.
I know, right? So AI isn't just for tasks, it's for optimizing your thinking.
So we've seen what they're doing in marketing. What about the creative and design side of things at CharTec?
Well, that's where Eric Crane comes in. He's their video content and platform director, and he's definitely embracing AI for visuals.
Okay, tell me more.
He raves about Midjourney. It's an AI image generator.
Oh, I've heard of that one. It can create some pretty amazing stuff.
He says it's a game changer for them. They use it for illustrations, design elements, even website backgrounds.
Wow.
He says there's a bit of a learning curve to really master it.
I can imagine.
But once you get the hang of it, you can generate stunning visuals whenever you need them.
It's amazing how these AI image generators are changing things.
Right.
They'll always need talented designers.
Of course.
But now people in other roles can create really cool graphics for presentations, social media, internal stuff.
Makes sense.
You don't need to be a design expert anymore.
Right.
It's really interesting. Do they talk about how they make sure these AI-generated visuals fit their brand?
That's a great question. The article doesn't go into a ton of detail about their guidelines.
Okay.
But remember how they mentioned training ChatGPT on their brand voice?
Right.
I'm guessing they do something similar with their visuals. maybe using specific prompts and styles
Hmm.
in mid-journey
Makes sense.
to keep everything consistent, you know.
Yeah, to maintain that cohesive look and feel.
Speaking of visuals, Eric also mentions Ideogram. It's another AI tool, but this one's all about putting text into images.
Oh, wow. Like creating social media graphics or promo materials where the text is perfectly integrated into the image.
Exactly. That stuff can take forever if you're doing it manually.
It can be really tricky to get it looking just right.
Ideogram takes care of that for them, makes those visuals pop.
Really streamlines the process.
Now, here's the thing. Eric also brings up ChatGPT again.
Oh, interesting. For something other than writing.
Yeah. He's really impressed with how versatile it is.
Like what?
He says they use it to generate simple code, create diagrams and charts, even develop learning processes for other software.
So it's not just a writing tool, it's like a multi-purpose digital assistant.
Exactly. And you know what's cool? These AI tools often have overlapping capabilities.
True.
So you might not realize everything they can do, like ChatGPT generating code snippets. That could be super helpful, even if you're not a programmer.
Right, if you need to tweak your website or automate a simple task.
It's like having an extra set of hands.
I see what you mean.
And then, to top it all off, Eric says Canva is essential for their design workflow.
Canva, with all its AI features and integrations.
The whole shebang. It's really changed the design game, making it so user-friendly.
It really has.
And their AI stuff just takes it to the next level. Okay, so that's marketing and creative covered. What about their web development and copywriting?
Well, Shami Galvin, their web development and design manager, is the AI champion on that front. And he's all about Claude AI.
Claude AI. I'm not as familiar with that one.
It's specifically designed for copywriting.
Makes sense.
Shami says it's amazing for creating copy that's good for SEO.
You mean it helps their website rank higher in search results?
Right.
And he also says it focuses on UX.
So it's all about creating a good experience for the user.
Exactly. Having AI that can do both those things, that's a huge advantage.
Totally. You know, it's interesting how AI tools are becoming more specialized.
What do you mean?
Well, different large language models are good at different things.
Oh, I see.
So choosing the right tool for the job, like SEO copywriting in this case, can make a big difference.
Right. The right tool for the right job.
Now, Chamie also talks about ChatGPT, which they use a lot, but he's especially excited about custom GPTs.
What are those?
Think of it like creating your own personalized version of ChatGPT.
Oh, okay.
You can feed it specific data and instructions related to your business.
Gotcha.
So instead of using a generic AI model, you have one that's a real expert on your specific needs.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff. And for web development, they're using Cursor. It's a coding assistant.
A coding assistant. So it helps them build their website faster.
Exactly. When you're coding, even small time savers can add up.
Makes sense.
Faster development means they can get projects done quicker. Okay, now let's shift gears and talk about sales and management.
Right. So on the sales side, Ashley Borelli, one of their regional sales managers, uses ChatGPT for a ton of her communication.
Like what kinds of things?
Drafting emails, writing scripts for sales videos, answering those common questions that come up all the time.
Sounds pretty standard.
Yeah, but here's what's interesting. She says it helps her get over her tendency to, overthink things.
Joe's, that's a big one.
Helps her communicate more clearly and confidently.
You know, sometimes the hardest part is just getting your thoughts down in a clear way.
For sure.
And AI can help with that.
Yeah, helps you get those initial ideas out.
So you can connect with clients faster and with more confidence.
Exactly. Now, Josh Gossett, who's a sales mentor at CharTec, he uses ChatGPT too.
Okay.
And he also mentions this other language model called Grok. They use it for refining their sales messaging and creating content for potential clients.
Okay, so far so good.
But then he mentions this tool called Scribe, and that was really interesting.
What does it do?
It automatically generates step-by-step instructions and standard operating procedures.
Interesting.
Documentation can be a real pain, especially for tech-focused teams.
Right. It's not always their favorite thing to do.
Exactly. But Josh says Scribe has made it much easier for their technicians to actually create and use documentation.
Makes you wonder why that is.
I think creating documentation can feel like a chore, like it's taking time away from their real work.
I get it.
But with a tool like Scribe, it's not a manual process anymore.
It's more seamless, part of their workflow.
And that leads to better knowledge sharing, fewer mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's easier to train new people.
Makes everyone more efficient. Okay, now I'm curious about what their sales executives are doing with AI.
Well, Mike Cushman, who's a corporate sales executive, has a really cool system.
Okay, lay it on me.
He uses Apple Voice memos to record his discovery calls with potential clients.
You mean those initial calls where you're figuring out their needs?
Right, and then he uses the transcription feature to get a written version of the call.
Smart.
And then he takes those transcripts and feeds them into ChatGPT
To do what?
to summarize the key points, figure out what the client really needs, and come up with action items.
Wow, that's pretty clever.
He says it saves him a ton of time and helps him catch those little details he might have missed during the call.
So he can follow up more effectively and give better presentations.
Exactly. Combining those different technologies, it's a really smart approach.
That's a great example of working smarter, not harder. All right, so we've covered marketing, creative, sales. What about operations? How are they using AI there?
Well, Dan Martin, their operations consultant, is all about making meetings more efficient and streamlining research.
Okay, I'm all ears.
He loves Fireflies.ai.
Fireflies.ai, what is that one?
It's a tool that records and transcribes meetings automatically.
Oh, nice.
But it goes even further than that. It summarizes the main points of the discussion and pulls out action items.
No more taking detailed notes. Sign me up.
Right. And it works across different platforms like Microsoft Teams and Google Meet.
Think of all the time saved.
Is huge. And then Dan mentions Copilot, Microsoft's AI assistant, as a valuable tool for research and analyzing complex code.
It's like having a research assistant at your fingertips.
And it's all about taking on those tasks that take a lot of time and focus.
The stuff that can really bog you down.
Exactly. So that brings us to technology and security.
What's happening over there?
Roger Lawrence, their VP of technology, is the go-to guy for that.
Okay.
He's a big fan of ChatGPT. He actually uses it as a search engine, especially for troubleshooting technical issues.
Oh, interesting. So instead of going to Google, he goes to ChatGPT.
Yeah, he finds it better for those really specific contextual searches. But, and this is important, he stresses that you always have to fact-check the information you get from AI.
Oh, for sure.
It's a powerful tool, but it's not perfect. You can't just take everything it says at face value.
Especially when it comes to tech and security.
Absolutely. Accuracy is key.
Makes sense.
Roger also really likes Copilot, particularly how well it integrates with Microsoft products and its strong privacy controls.
That integration is important, especially for a company like CharTec.
Right. Seamless workflows, keeping their data secure, it's all crucial. Okay, so we've gone through how CharTec is using AI across the board. What's the big takeaway here?
Well, one thing that really stands out is that they see AI as a way to help their people do their jobs better, not to replace them.
Yeah, that's a key point.
It's about giving them new tools, freeing them from boring tasks.
Like giving them superpowers.
Exactly.
And that ultimately makes them more efficient, creative, and effective.
It's a really positive way of looking at it.
They're not just jumping on the AI bandwagon. They're using it to solve specific problems and make real improvements. So this isn't just some far-off futuristic thing. It's happening right now. And it's working.
So now the question is, what about you? How could you use these AI tools or strategies in your own work or life?
What kind of light bulbs went off for you during this deep dive? We want to challenge you to go beyond just the what of these applications and really think about the why.
What were the problems CharTec was trying to solve, and do you see any similarities in your own world?
Where are you getting bogged down? Where could a little AI magic make a difference for you, whether it's saving time, boosting your creativity, or just making things run smoother?
Because the truth is, AI is here to stay. It's constantly evolving.
So we all need to figure out how to use it to our advantage.
It's all about learning, experimenting, and finding the ways it can best meet your needs.
That's where the real power lies.